Invisible Woman, the inimitable Sue Storm. Representing the classical element of air, she is the first lady of the first family of Marvel. And she's kinda boring. At least, visually, she is. Like Human Torch and Mr. Fantastic, she's kinda stuck, just wearing the generic Fantastic Four suit. But unlike the Torch, who gets to be various flavors of on fire, and her husband, who gets to be Luffy from One Piece, Sue just gets to be transparent. Now, as we've covered, this is to a large extent an intentional trade-off. By wearing a unified F4 uniform, the family is connected as a unit, which is important to their identities, even if it comes at the cost of their individual uniqueness. But the end result of that choice is still a visual design that just isn't particularly interesting, and which isn't all that expressive of who Sue Storm is as a particular person. She has the prism-looking shiny things on her belt and shoulders, which seems like they're probably gadgets that Reed created to interact with her powers in some way, which, you know, that's something, I guess. But besides that, the only characterization we really get of Sue herself is her hairstyle, makeup, and accessories. And the energy that all of that is giving is kind of mostly your friend's nice mom, honestly. She has a nice, but not extravagant, layered haircut, simple workaday makeup, and a pair of medium-large gray earrings. And honestly, if not for the supersuit, she'd really just kind of look like any regular person. And again, this is to an extent intentional. The F4 are designed to be an archetypal all-American family, at least as the idea was understood in 1961, so Sue is a fairly regular-looking person on purpose. And there is something to be said for having that in a genre of media which is so dominated by exceptional outliers. Except, she doesn't look all that regular, does she? Maybe compared to the other Marvel Rivals characters, sure, but this is a mother of two who is at the very least in her late 30s if Reed is going grey like that, and not only is her body still as slim and tight as all the 20-somethings and teenagers running around in the game, there's not a hint of crow's feet or smile lines on her perfect youthful face. So yeah, I like the idea of Sue being a more down-to-earth, regular kind of woman in her character design. It would be interesting if her physicality told the story of her life like that, but that's not what's going on here. She's just generically skinny, fit, and pretty, because God forbid a woman look like anything other than that.